From New Delhi, this is DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi becomes the first Indian to get Mauritius' highest honor, says Mauritius' family, and links India to a wider global south. Ukraine agrees to a ceasefire proposal with Russia for an initial 30 days. Now the US has put the onus of securing the peace and ceasefire on Russia. US markets in turmoil as ambiguity remains about the tariffs. The US and Canada trade angry warnings as 25% levy is set to come into effect by midnight, but Trump has halted plans for 50% tariffs after talks with Canada. Greenland's centre-right opposition has won the parliamentary election dominated by Trump's control pledge. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi called on Pravind Jugnauth, the former Prime Minister of Mauritius. In fact, he had called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier today. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Mauritius, is set to attend the country's 57th National Day celebrations as the chief guest. Pravind Jugnauth was the Prime Minister until recently when Naveen Chandra Ramagulam won the elections and deposed him, but he had been the Prime Minister after his father had demitted office in 2017, from 2017 onwards until just about last year. He was the Prime Minister. And on the occasion of the National Day, a contingent of the Indian Defence Forces will participate in the celebrations. There will be a ship from the Indian Navy that's going to be present in Mauritius on the occasion, and also in addition, the Indian Air Force's Akash Ganga skydiving team will also participate in the ceremonies. Prime Minister Modi, along with his Mauritian counterpart Ramagulam, will inaugurate a few projects that have been implemented with Indian assistance and will also witness the signing of several MOUs on cooperation in the field of capacity building, bilateral trade, tackling of cross-border financial crimes, and promoting small and medium enterprises. Later in the day, the Prime Minister will visit Ganga Talao, that's the Grand Basin, which is a significant Hindu pilgrimage site in Mauritius. There he will also offer prayers. Earlier on Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a grand ceremonial welcome on his arrival in Mauritius. Akshay Dongre and Tripti Tripathi report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched down at Port Louis to a grand reception received personally by his Mauritian counterpart, Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramagulam. A ceremonial guard of honor was accorded to him. Adding to the celebratory spirit, over 200 dignitaries gathered at the airport, reflecting the deep-rooted bond between the two democracies. A special moment unfolded as the Indian diaspora welcomed PM Modi with the traditional Bihari Geet Gawai performance, a folk art that symbolizes the cultural heritage of Indian migrants in Mauritius. The visit continued to the historic Ceasefire Ramagulam Botanical Garden, where PM Modi and PM Ramagulam paid tribute to two towering leaders of Mauritius, Ceasefire Ramagulam and Anirudh Jugnauth, for their immense contributions to the nation's progress. In a symbolic gesture, PM Modi planted a bale sapling under the Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam initiative, an effort to honor mothers by promoting environmental conservation. This marks yet another step in his global greening mission. At the State House, Prime Minister Modi met Mauritian President Dharambir Gokul, where the two leaders discussed ways to deepen bilateral ties. PM Modi gifted the holy Sangam water from Mahakumbh and Bihar's nutritious superfood makhana to the Mauritian president. A touch of Indian elegance was added with the traditional Banarasi sari gifted to the First Lady of Mauritius. PM Modi also visited the Ayurvedic garden, a testament to India-Mauritius collaboration in traditional medicine. This initiative strengthened ties in the field of holistic healing, reinforcing a shared commitment to preserving ancient knowledge. From cultural heritage to strategic partnerships, PM Modi's visit to Mauritius reaffirmed the deep-rooted connection between the two nations. With Akshay Dongre, Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was awarded the country's topmost civilian honor in Mauritius. During that event, Prime Minister Modi announced the issuance of overseas citizens of India cards to the Mauritian diaspora. The decision marked India's commitment to the diaspora and also bilateral relations with Mauritius.
A grand evening at the Trianon Convention Centre in Mauritius turned even more special as Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended a cultural event celebrating the deep-rooted ties between India and Mauritius. The highlight of the evening, Mauritius conferring its highest civilian honour, the Grand Commander of the Order of the Star and Key of the Indian Ocean, upon India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. With this, PM Modi is the first Indian to receive this prestigious award, joining a select group of global leaders, including Nelson Mandela.
I should also announce to everybody here today that I've asked the President of the Republic to award to you, Sri Modi, the highest award that we have, Grand Commander of the Order of the Star. Grand Commander of the Order of the Star and Key of the Indian Ocean, very fitting for you, Prime Minister.
Humbly accepting the honour, PM Modi dedicated the award to the Indian diaspora in Mauritius.
ये भारत और मॉरिशस के ऐतिहासिक रिश्तों का सम्मान है। ये उन भारतीयों का सम्मान है जिन्होंने पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी इस धरती की खूब सेवा की।
In a symbolic gesture of shared heritage, PM Modi handed over the Overseas Citizen of India cards or the OCI cards to PM Naveen Ramgoolam and his spouse Veena Ramgoolam. Notably, OCI eligibility has now been extended to the seventh generation of the Indian diaspora. Addressing the gathering, PM Modi emphasized the unwavering bilateral ties and described Mauritius as mini India.
For us, Mauritius is family. This bond is deep and strong, rooted in history, heritage, and the human spirit. Mauritius is also a bridge connecting India to the wider global south.
Strengthening the bond further, PM Modi reaffirmed India's commitments to Mauritius's development, highlighting key collaborative projects in infrastructure, healthcare, and digital transformation.
Mauritius, with large ocean territories, needs to secure its resources from illegal fishing, piracy, and crimes. As a trusted and reliable friend, India works with Mauritius to protect your national interests and secure the Indian Ocean region.
PM Modi's message was clear. India and Mauritius are not just partners, but family, bound by history, culture, and a shared vision for the future. With India playing a key role in Mauritius's growth through developmental projects, trade, and capacity building initiatives, the relationship stands as a model of deep mutual trust, and cooperation. With Akshay Dongre, Bureau Report, DD India.
And DD India correspondent Amritpal Singh is now joining us live with more updates on the Prime Minister's visit to Mauritius. Amrit, put into context the importance of this visit in terms of the Indian Ocean region.
Well, Indian Ocean region is a very important region from perspective of trade, for perspective of maritime security for India, and therefore the need to collaborate with countries in the Indian Ocean region for development of the Indian Ocean region and from a maritime security perspective. Mauritius, in that sense, is central to India's Sagar vision. This is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi had espoused when he visited Mauritius in 2015 as Prime Minister. In fact, he had talked about the Sagar vision from the land of Mauritius in 2015. And this visit becomes important because it takes that cooperation, that collaboration to the next level, both in the maritime security domain. As you know, India set up coastal radars on various islands of Mauritius, the archipelago of Mauritius. There is a deep collaboration in terms of oceanography, about 25,000 square kilometers of the land, the sea area has been surveyed by INS Sarvekshak, the Indian ship, for oceanography purposes. Then from a maritime perspective, given China's expanding footprint in the Indian Ocean, that's a point of concern. The Colombo conclave, essentially focuses on cooperation between India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, for securing the Indian Ocean region. So the Western Indian Ocean region, Mauritius is very, very important, and therefore, during the bilateral talks during this visit of Prime Minister, it will be taken to the next level, Mark.
Also, Amrit, with 70% of the population of Indian origin, civilization links come into focus. And it is fitting that today is the National Day of Mauritius. The Prime Minister is the chief guest, and India, would be participating in it.
That's right. The Prime Minister being invited as the chief guest speaks about the honor extended to the Prime Minister. In fact, when yesterday he was awarded the highest civilian award, it speaks about the deep ties between the two nations, be it with this government, across political dispensations. India's relationship with Mauritius has been strong. As you say, 70% of the population is of Indian origin, about 50% from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, who still speak the Bhojpuri dialect. There are other communities like the Telugus, the Marathis, who have preserved their culture, and the fact that there is a deep civilization connect, which has been capitalized to use that connect for furthering collaboration in the present times, speaks about the relationship, and therefore, in that perspective, the kind of welcome extended to Prime Minister Modi, be it the entire political and establishment leadership of Mauritius arriving to receive Prime Minister at the airport, or the fact that even as we speak, he's meeting the former Prime Minister Praveen Jagannath and the leader of opposition. He's met the former Prime Minister Praveen Jagannath. Now he's meeting the leader of opposition, and he being the chief guest at the National Day or the Independence Day speaks about the relationship. In fact, their independence struggle also goes back. Remember, the present Prime Minister's father, who was the founder the founding father of Mauritius, independent Mauritius, had a deep collaboration with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose during his days in England, and he in fact helped edit Subhash Chandra Bose's book, The Indian Struggle. And so, this relationship goes back in terms of people.
Right. Amrit, we'll leave it for the moment. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as Amrit was saying, is meeting Georges Pierre Lejeune, who is the leader of the opposition in Mauritius. The leader of the opposition is a member of the party of the Mauritian Social Democrats. It's the fourth largest political party in the National Assembly. This is not the leader of the opposition. Constitutional office, in fact, it's seventh in the order of precedence in Mauritius, and the current leader is Georges Pierre Lejonga, more commonly known as Joe Lejonga, and he had been appointed to this post on the 15th of November 2024. Important meetings taking place there in Port Louis. This is meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is going to be the chief guest at the National Day today. The leader of the opposition just calling on the Prime Minister. Earlier, the former Prime Minister had called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. These meetings will continue. After that, the Prime Minister will be involved with delegation level talks later, and there would be joint press statements, which would be followed by the National Day celebrations. Now, commemorating the 95th anniversary of the historic Salt March, which is also today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to those who participated in the Dandi March, a defining chapter in India's freedom struggle. Taking to X, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Today we pay homage to all those who participated in the historic Dandi March, a defining chapter in India's freedom struggle. Led by Mahatma Gandhi, this march ignited a nationwide movement for self-reliance and independence. The courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to truth and non-violence of all those who took part in the Dandi March continues to inspire generations." Let's get you some updates now on that sensational train hijacking in Pakistan. Pakistani forces have claimed to have rescued 155 people after the Baloch separatists had blown up a railway track and taken 450 hostages, including Pakistani army personnel. Earlier, the Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif had condemned the attack, saying that security officials were repelling the separatists. Clouds of uncertainty are looming over the fate of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Now, Ukraine has accepted a US-brokered 30-day ceasefire proposal, and for this to hold, immediate negotiations with Russia during the peace talks in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah. Now, the leaders have hailed Ukraine's decision. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is set to hold a meeting with both the parties soon. But things are still a little unclear. Let's take a look at this report.
United States' 30-day ceasefire proposal marked a pivotal decision in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, as top US and Ukrainian officials held talks in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah, aiming to move ahead towards ending the 3-year-long conflict. In a significant development, Ukraine has agreed to accept the ceasefire proposal and to hold immediate negotiations with Russia, a step towards restoring a durable peace, according to a joint US-Ukraine statement on Tuesday.
It is indeed written there that Ukraine is ready to accept, if Russia agrees to it, to introduce a 30-day ceasefire as the first step in order to start preparing some more important document to prepare for negotiations.
The statement further said that the two sides have also agreed to conclude a comprehensive agreement for developing Ukraine's critical mineral resource soon. Also, the United States have agreed to resume military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine. US President Donald Trump lauded the decision at Jeddah talks, while affirming hope that Russia will also agree to it in a meeting with their officials soon. Trump also mentioned that he will invite the Ukrainian president again to the White House.
Ukraine, ceasefire, just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also. We're going to meet with him later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also hailed the offer, saying that the ceasefire was a positive proposal that covers the front line in the conflict, not just fighting by air and sea.
The American side proposed taking a first step forward, establishing a full ceasefire for 30 days. Not just stopping missiles, drones and bombs, not just ensuring security in the Black Sea, but implementing a complete ceasefire along the entire front line. Ukraine welcomes this proposal.
US Secretary of Staff Marco Rubio said that now the offer will be taken to the Russians and that the ball is now in Moscow's court.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable. Hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes to peace. The ball is now in their court.
Leaders of the European Union welcomed Ukraine's decision to accept the US ceasefire proposal. European Council President Antonio Costa, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and French President Emmanuel Macron calls it a positive progress towards a comprehensive, just and lasting peace for Ukraine. With these significant US-brokered steps taken at the Jeddah talks, President Trump seems to have been on track to fulfill his promises made to end the Ukraine conflict. Bureau Report, DD India.
With polling stations closed in Greenland, the centre-right opposition party, the Democrats, have won the parliamentary election held on Tuesday. It's brought into international spotlight by the US President Donald Trump's pledge to take control of this island. Trump, who said that he is determined to get this vast Arctic island one way or the other, has tried until the last minute to influence the vote, promising to make them rich if they become part of the United States of America. That's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app, which is available on both iOS and Android. You can download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. Thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.